Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. We were working on the countryside the other day. It's coming along nicely. Love it. We added a fun little story over here. We're not talking about Thor's hammer. We're talking about the beaver dam. It's funny, after constructing it and editing and all that, I was looking at it. I was like, I think we can make it even better just by changing up some of the details. So right now it's like dried up, right? Because the water would of course slow down after the dam, but we only did that to about here. So we want to make it like that all the way up to the dam. I think we can add a little bit more detail before the dam and also to the logs within the dam as well. So that's the first thing we're going to take care of today. So the first thing I did was remove some of the trans light blue tiles both before and after the dam, because we're going to be replacing those with parts that add more detail. There we go. I think that's a little bit better. I know it's not much, but it's definitely worth the while, right? Now we have the rushing water before the logs. Some of the logs have had the addition of the tan cones, so it looks like they've been gnawed off by those big beaver teeth. And we've got more rushing water after the logs, and it's just a little bit more dried up after the logs as well. So the flow of the river has been reduced. Worth it? What do you think? I think so. Yeah, I like this river here. I think it's awesome. Really happy to have a large river. Hey, somebody mentioned that this river is flowing the wrong way. It should be flowing toward the ocean. But no, we actually have another story that actually fuels this river. So it originates right up here. This is the hot spring. It's the origin story of the river. And the hot spring flows this way as well and goes down through the zoo and also over there toward the canal. And there's another smaller pool of water right here on this massive hill. So the next thing I want to improve here in the countryside is the campground, but not the actual campground. It's multi-leveled, right? So we've got all the rock work leading up to the different levels of the campground. And the base layer for that rock work is right here by the train track. Yeah, that could use an improvement, right? Originally, when we built this rock work, we based it on 16 by 16 plates in dark gray. Ideally, I should have done that in green, because then there'd be like grass and the rock work would be coming up off the grass. But can't really change that. But we can make it look natural, and we can improve the look of it substantially rather than just having studs here. So we've got to like fill in these areas along the rock work and between the train track with like an interesting shape and some different colors. Also over here, there's just like a transition from green to gray. Not much happening there. And on this side, it's sort of the same deal. We've got this rock face over here. It sits on green. Then we've got the train track, and then it transitions into the dark gray, which is fine. But we've got all this space that we can do something with. We could put like a little structure or something down here, but for now, I just want to try and tidy it up with some sort of like vegetation and landscaping detail. Just sort of make that look a little bit better, you know? To make the improvements to those areas there, I think it's going to be easier just to work from the access points, because hauling up these big modules, oh my gosh, that would be not a huge task, but not worth the while, I don't think. So we've got the parts that we need right down here, all sorts of cheese slopes and various vegetation elements. And then we have green plate, all different sizes, and also wedge plates. The first thing I did was just create my line of wedge plates, sort of bordering the track. And then I just filled it in with green, starting in the corner and working toward the wedge plates. And I've started to make my outline on this side as well. So the track is green, the wedge plates come off there, they go around the switching mechanism, and that's all green there. We've added some sparse details, just some rocks and a little bit of vegetation, some little mini saplings on either side. Definitely looks a lot better than just a sea of dark gray studs. And the same thing has been done on this side as well. So the wedge plating actually goes all the way over there, and then it goes under the bridge and around the corner here on the edge of the plate. And you can see it's like wedge plated along, so it sort of like swerves along the rock line. Looks a little bit more natural. And then we had these flower like bursts throughout the campsite. It's like a trail of them really, right? So that trail was continued down here toward the train track. I noticed that when I was filming yesterday's video, I was like, oh, that doesn't look that good. The next thing I want to do is just fix that up. So I'm happy that I was able to take care of that today. There you go. I think that looks a lot better than having the gray on this side as well. Perfect. Like that. So wedge plates down, and also the beaver dam. What's next? Not long ago, we changed that right there to a T intersection, and that gravel road goes over this bridge along the backside of the elevated space there with all the slope-built rocks and the train track crossing, and we've got all these pine trees around the Twilight House there. It looks pretty good. Also did more blending over here because we had a whole bunch of exposed Mills plate. But the thing is when we get to the end of the line over here, just beyond the campsite bridge, it's still exposed. So I'm thinking we should probably continue that. So we're gonna have to branch off this rock work. So it's gonna have to be dark gray for a bit, and then we'll probably transition into green just because we're running out of dark gray brick and we don't have any rock panels at this particular time. But we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 train tracks. Looks like we've got to get rid of the colorful brick there as well, clean up that edge a bit, and then just build our rough draft rock work all the way along here. I think that's going to improve the look of this area as well. So we brought all 5 plates up to the build table here, and we're going to keep them as individual entities just in case we want to change this area in the future, because it is right by a winter village. So maybe this area won't be as green in the future. You never know. But we're going to build this how I built all of the other ones. So I've gotten pretty good at it. What I do is I start with the outline along the bottom, and then I put the supports in behind those bricks. In this case, we're using 2x3 bricks, and then you can just branch off those and eventually come off with like a 2x4, and then you just create that staircase effect going onto those support bricks. We're not interlocking the green bricks just because if you want to make modifications to this in the future, it's better to not have them interlocked. So they're just literally like 2x4s or 2x6s stacked on top of one another until we get to the top layer. The top layer is interlocked, so that sort of locks it all together. And then of course it's all reinforced by the colorful bricks. So it's pretty strong and it does work. Mrs. Bricksie's helping me out today, so it's going twice as fast. So that's pretty awesome. We're just crushing it out there. Now we do want to add just a bit of slope detail here. So we're using some of the cheese slopes and 1x2 slopes just to take away from that staircase effect a little bit. Eventually we're going to be adding a lot more detail to all of these different panels that hide the elevation change, like a lot more vegetation, like the bamboo elements, leaf elements, trees, saplings, all that different type of stuff. But for now, we just decided to do some basic sloping just to make it look a little bit more presentable at this particular time. But there you go. We were able to crush out the 4 plates pretty quickly there, and it's definitely going to make a big difference down there. So we decided not to do this corner over here because we don't know what's going on with this corner because there's the elevated platform there as well. And eventually you want to put like a ski slope and stuff here. So I don't know what's going on with this area at this point. I'll be direct with you there. I don't know. I got to figure that out. Also got to figure out where this tunnel is going to go. We were thinking like over here or up here somewhere. It's just like a false tunnel, so it can technically go anywhere. But yeah, I think that looks a lot better. Now that's all blended in. We can't see those colorful supports anymore. We're definitely going to add a lot more detail to this entire strip, starting over there all the way over here. Soon. Whenever we want to, or whenever we feel the urge to lay thousands of pieces on 20 modules of train track or whatever that may be. Yeah, looking a lot better, that's for sure. Loving it. You know what? It's been a while since we fired up the train and had it go on the big loop around the main Lego city, like through the downtown core. So I figured we may as well do that for the end of this video. Oh, man, I forgot. I got to run around this island now. I can't follow the train anymore. Oh, no. Gotta catch up to it now. There we go. But yeah, I'm happy we were able to make a few upgrades to the countryside here today. Nothing major, but I think little things like that add up over the long term. You know, I was thinking this area right here needs to be worked on ASAP. We need to put a building or something there. I do have another A-frame cabin sealed upstairs. Build another one, and we could like put it on like an angle in this area. Maybe connect the trails between the two cabins, or have another little mini road branching off this way so there's like parking for the A-frames, and put like a scene in behind it. That might be pretty cool for this area. It might fill it in nicely, because I'm always looking from like this perspective. It's like, okay, I think one of the next things we need to work on is this area over here, because it's looking pretty wide open for the taking. So there we go, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the little Lego City update there, where we just improved a couple things in the downtown. Nope, not the downtown, but the countryside. This is definitely not downtown. I think this area is coming along great. I think it looks fantastic. And I always like just making little improvements like that. All right, thank you so much for coming on by. Farewell, have a great day.